And we're back after a long hiatus. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Live Reality Game Shows podcast. I'm your host Lee. With me, as usual, is Nathan. And today we're going over episodes. What episodes were they? 7, 8, and 9. 3 episodes and 1 recap for MTV's The Challenge All Stars 2. We kind of took a break for the holidays. Definitely not because we forgot about the show.
No, I've been watching this. I've been enjoying it. But yeah, holidays happened. COVID happened. Traveling happened. Not in that same order, but it's a busy time of year, and thankfully, the challenge has been supplying us some kind of reality TV during this otherwise boring month. So I'm happy about it. I'm happy we're like almost to the end of this thing, and it's been a great season, to be honest.
Yeah, we got like maybe 1 or 2 more episodes, depending if it's a 1-part or 2-part final. I definitely did not watch all 3 episodes an hour before going live. I've always kept up with the challenge. That's believable, right?
Well,
So,
this has been this is a good timing because we're right before the finale. So now these
yeah,
3 episodes kind of were the determining. We got through the twist of the pairs, and then these 3 episodes determined who is going to race in the final. It's all about the end game at this point. Everyone's talking about the end game in all of their confessionals, and so I feel like there was that through line throughout these 3.
yeah, a lot of these episodes were I want to make the final, gotta make the final. Once after like the halfway point, you hear a lot of final talk, which is
Yeah.
pretty much the 3 episodes. They're all the same episode.
In some ways, in some ways.
Some ways. So we'll start off with episode 7. What happened in episode 6 again? Who
We
went home?
that was Tyler.
Oh yeah, Tyler went home because the challenge is homophobic.
Yeah, and so Laterian was fine.
Yeah, he came back. His partner's now Jasmine, and the King's Palace. I definitely was not sick of hearing that name at all.
Safety Palace, Safety
Safety
Palace,
Palace. That's it.
Safety Palace, Safety Palace. You're like,
We
that's
don't.
all they got, and but it's enough to get stuck in our heads.
Yeah, Safety Palace, and they are all happy. They have 2 new recruits with Ayanna and Jasmine. Jasmine, not so really on it. She was just there for the protection.
Yeah, and it's so funny as they're celebrating so loudly. Everyone's faces during the celebration who aren't in the King's Palace room are just like, what
Just
is
like
what is that?
every single one of them was Denali in the end of episode 1 of Drag Race 13, just looking at the camera like, are you for real? Like, I'm pretty sure Casey did that face just like right in the camera.
And I'm calling this poor gameplay. I mean, I know the lines are.
I wouldn't even call it gameplay. It's not even a strategy.
It's bad. It's very stupid. It's like you are making your target so much bigger because you're making it so obvious who is in your group and who is out of your group.
Yeah, like if it wasn't obvious enough, they just decide to sing about it literally and tell the entire house, we're an alliance, we're going to fuck you over.
And there wasn't even a real reason to celebrate that much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Laterian won, but that was it. In a challenge he already won.
Yeah, but he was stuck with
Jasmine.
So like, is that really a win at the end of the day?
It's more like you replaced Kendall with Jasmine.
That is a loss. That is not a win. You should not be celebrating this.
The only thing you gain is having a fun person to be around.
Yeah, but no hate on Jasmine though.
No hate. We love Jasmine.
She does.
Her strengths aren't necessarily in the challenge; they're more in the confessionals.
Yeah, and you know what? She finds herself in this very interesting situation where she is now kind of inducted into the King's Palace involuntarily.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like she wasn't a part of them. She was on the other side of the house pretty firmly. And now she's like, I guess I'm just gonna save face for y'all.
Yeah, it's like, okay. She even said it's like, I'm not a part of the King Palace. I'm just here because I'm tied to their partner. I'm really with the other people. Even John A was like, yeah, Jasmine's with the King's Palace, but I know she's with me and will never say my name, so nothing really to worry about.
Yeah. Very very interesting with her kind of being in the middle, and even John A a little bit kind of playing this. Still, Jasmine and John A have consistently been in the middle of the house this entire season, and that's not a bad place to be.
No, I think it's just because they get along with everyone.
It might be.
Yeah, they're very middle players. Like, you
Mm.
know you can rely on them, but you know that you can beat them. Like, you think you can beat them. Because that seems to be the running theme with both John A and Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine is confident we can't beat them. John A is, maybe we can beat her.
Yeah, like she's not a dominant competitor, so it's kind of like, well, she's strong, but
Yeah.
she's not like
She can hold herself in a challenge.
she's not like if you bring Cara Maria in or something, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
she's already proven herself to be a beast consistently.
Yeah, she's pretty much a very player. You know she will finish the challenge. She won't quit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we move on from that to get Casey talking to her husband, talking about how her life is great, which is pretty much the challenge telling us she will go home this episode. It's the challenge way of letting you know before anything starts that this person will go home.
Yeah, biggest gripe with this season is the editing has been very predictable.
Obvious.
With that. If they show you in the first 10 minutes, you're in elimination and probably gone.
Yes. I don't know if they have like the Australian Survivor editors running this episode where it's like, we haven't shown this person in 17 episodes. Here's their very first confessional, and now they're going home this episode.
Well, only from the most recent season. Australian Survivor generally has better editing than that.
Their past 3 seasons have been very bad with editing.
Okay, no, you're right. You're right.
Yes.
I'm thinking of like season 2, 3, which were some of my favorites.
Yeah, Champs versus Contenders 1, my favorite Australian season.
Yeah.
Brain versus Brawn.
I think 2 is my favorite. I love 2.
Yeah, that's a good episode. It's just a lot of my favorites are in the 3rd season. Like you had Shawnee. Need I say more?
Shawnee and Fernella. Chanella. Is John A and Jasmine the Chanella?
Kind of, yeah, because you have like Jasmine as the Shawnee, confessional queen, usually very bad at challenges, and then you have Fenella, who everybody loves, kind of gets targeted for being good, and is just generally good.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you look at the contender girls tribe, Fenella was their strongest girl.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But enough about Australian Survivor.
Yeah,
that's at the end of the month.
So Casey gets is very happy to talk with her boyfriend, her longtime boyfriend.
Her fiance. And one thing I did notice was nothing to do with the conversation. I'm sure it was lovely, but the picture in the background, which shows like all of, like famous challenge moments. Like you see Johnny Bananas in like one corner. You see CT walking in with either DM's sister or Tina. One of the few times CT walked in.
I think Tina.
It just looked, yeah.
One of those moments. That one's way more iconic.
Oh yeah, that's more iconic than the anniversary of DM's death. Okay, we know where everything lies.
Well, I mean, just like when you think of highlights of CT, though, I think of that challenge because that's the Bananas backpack.
Yeah, and then a whole bunch of other people. I only know it was Bananas, CT, and Cara because there's really anyone else to notice on the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's where my attention was, not on the conversation, but on the background music. Speaking of music, we'll get into it. God, the music, they are killing it with the songs this season.
You know, I've not been paying as much attention to them.
I basically only notice it when it's either a song I've heard before or a song that's been a lip sync on Drag Race.
Okay, yeah. I feel like the first few episodes, they were super on point, and I was like catching them every time. And then I don't know, the second half of the season, I just haven't been.
Yeah, second half season really is kind of just all meshing together as one episode.
Because you watched it as one episode?
What? No, I was a loyal fan and watched it the second it came out for me in my country.
No, I mean, no shame.
No shame. So after all that, we get to the challenge where we get I forget the name of it, but one person is hanging off of a giant beam out on a truck and the other is directing them, and they have to get flags off moving vehicles to put them in the bag. Most flag wins, least flags loses.
Yeah, my only note for this, Ayanna's screaming
Yeah.
as she flies through the air, trying to collect flags. It is a lot. She's like full on. Ah!
That's me in in any of these challenges, just full on screaming.
Like, I just don't think you're gonna collect as many flags when you're so spending all of your breath screaming. You're gonna get tired out real quick.
Oh, I thought it was hilarious because it's something I always do when I'm doing anything, and just randomly scream.
Yeah.
And when you're hanging up on a building, just being told, you're just like,
It's also just that she kept it up for like the whole time. She never stopped for like a solid 3 minutes straight.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's really the only main important thing that happened in the challenge, other than finding out who wins and who lost.
Yeah.
Okay. And we find out that Brad and Jody win by 1 flag.
Surprise,
Challenge.
surprise.
Surprise, Brad and Jody win. It's not like
Yeah.
they're the best team and obviously going to make to the final. Foreshadowing. So they win, and the losing team is Jasmine and Laterian, obviously. However, Laterian won the lifesaver and Jasmine's his partner. I'm not even going to say Jasmine won the lifesaver. She did not.
She didn't
anything.
compete.
So they're safe. So it goes to the next losing team, which is Tech and Ayanna. So Tech and Ayanna are going into elimination.
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, this does not look good for Tech and Ayanna.
Yes, because they are not good.
Not really, no.
No. Even though both of them have elimination wins, Ayanna has 2, Tech has 1. They're kind of the weakest team other than Laterian and Jasmine, and when Laterian and Jasmine are safe, you're the next weakest team.
I mean, who did they win against, really? Ayanna won against
Leah and oh fudge, who went? Katie.
Yeah.
And Tech won against Steve.
Yeah. Not necessarily your strongest competitors that they won against. So
yeah.
It's no Darrell, it's no Jody.
No Darrell, no Jody, no Derek.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brad and Jody win.
Brad's and this looks like it's gonna be really straightforward, right? You know, we're gonna see Brad and Jody take out the other side now.
Yeah, Brad has difficulty because he and Nehemiah are friends outside the game, and Nehemiah makes it very obvious that he's working with King's Palace and not Brad. So they both kind of agreed that Nehemiah and Melinda have to go up, but there's actually a little bit of struggle on who to put as a pawn. Initially, Jody was like, Darrell and Janelle, they won't mind, but then Brad was like, I'd rather if we did Kata and Casey because of performance.
Well, and this is part of like basic challenge strategy. You only you make moves against people who can't retaliate, and meaning you target the people who aren't as good at challenges. So it's one of the reasons why competitors do well consistently, and people who aren't great at the challenge don't do well.
Yeah, but the thing was, they weren't arguing on who to put in as a target. They were arguing over who to put in as a pawn.
Yeah, and Casey and Kahara are less likely to retaliate against them because they haven't won a daily challenge yet.
Yeah, but both sides knew they were never going in, so I didn't really see the point. I think it was just...
It's just optics.
Yeah, I guess. And we can clearly see Kahara not being pissed off, because it's like, Kahara doesn't get pissed off. He's just like, okay. Casey, she was kind of sick of always being used as a scapegoat, because she's always being nominated, because people are like, nobody's going to vote in Casey, so we'll just put up her.
Yeah, and then which person is she going to retaliate against when everyone's already picked her?
Yeah.
It's kind of the escape in these types of games.
Yeah. It's like if it was Big Brother and they were like Victoria.
Yeah, when you create a pawn,
Yeah.
the
It's the
pawn can't
easiest
really
way
retaliate.
Yeah, it's the easiest way to get rid of somebody's power, just constantly nom them.
Hmm.
There's a Big Brother strat for any future Big Brother players, but I highly recommend do not go on the show.
I would
Have
play
to
Big
get
Brother. I think that's fun. It'd be fun.
I have to get in my usual I hate Big Brother talk.
Big Brother, the
'cause,
show is good. The Big Brother, the casting is not.
I would say I like the Canadian version. The Canadian version's fun. The US version
Fair.
is
It has its moments.
very few moments, especially within the past 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But none of this. So we get to the voting, right? And
Yeah,
so,
and everybody votes in not Brad. Foreshadowing. Votes in Melinda and Nehemiah.
which I really liked Janelle's wording of her vote explanation here, because they bring up, in their defense, in their plea, like Nehemiah brings up, "Hey, I wanted to protect these guys. We're all black men, and we want to be. We're never going to vote against each other because we want to represent well." And Janelle is like, "Well, I appreciate what you're standing for, but if the roles were reversed, just because you are aligned and you've been singing Safety Palace all day,
Yeah, you've been
you would
making
vote me in if the roles were reversed." And I think she just worded it really well in that she didn't take away from the cause and the values that Nehemiah stands for,
yeah,
because I'm sure she stands as well. But she was also saying this is a self-interest move, because as much as the cause is important to me and to you, your people, your loyalty is more important and more valuable on your side of things than it is on my side of the game.
yeah. Which is something we've been seeing a lot recently in reality shows. We've been seeing a lot of doing it for the cause, however, self-interest versus for the cause. I mean, we just saw it in Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
We had the conversations in Big Brother. Now it's hitting the challenge.
Yeah.
And the cause is great. However, if you are announcing it to the whole house over and over again, you're kind of doing it yourself. Because
Yeah,
the great
and at
thing
the same
about,
time, they're not including. There's people on the other side of the house that aren't included. There's Janelle and Darrell. There's Jean A.
yeah,
And it's like, if you don't include them, then
it's less about a cause and more just about I want to protect my friends.
yeah, and also there's only 2 teams that don't have a black person on them at this point.
Yeah, and they're sitting next to one of them.
Yeah.
So as much you can preach cause all you want, there's other people to include.
Yeah. So I appreciate the messaging, and I especially appreciate Janelle's explanation of her vote,
Yeah.
in light of that.
Yeah, so it's going to be a rematch between Tech and Tech and Nehemiah. Everybody's names is just falling in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then Melinda and Ayanna. And then when everyone's preparing, we cut to Casey. And Casey's an accountant. She's been counting. And at first when she said that, I was like, is she counting the votes? There's only 2 teams. But no, she was counting days. And it's been a while. She finds out that she is pregnant. Yay! It's really become a tradition on the challenge now where one girl has to be pregnant in the cast. Because we've had it for the past 3 seasons.
Yeah.
We had Alyssa be pregnant. We had Natalie be pregnant. I think on the past recent season, Bettina was pregnant. And now Casey, she gets to join the club of pregnancy.
Yeah, and you know what? This is getting a little bit frustrating, as a viewer, that it's like the challenge is not giving them pregnancy tests when they come in, like, which is.
I think it's now a requirement. Like every girl's like, pee on this stick. Make sure you're not pregnant.
I mean, if we were back in the days where they allowed pregnant women to compete, which, you know, back in the early challenge days, that was always that was a
allowed.
potential.
I mean, one
who's
person.
the one who was like 6 months pregnant and competing?
That was Gladys in Battle of the Sexes 1, and she wasn't even the first person eliminated.
Yeah, which freaking amazing. Like that
Yeah.
was just that season is from another world. And nowadays, like, we recognize, like, these are this isn't like melting an ice block with your tongue. This is these are stunts.
There's jumping on moving vehicles, there's hanging off of buildings.
Yeah, these are stunts that could very well potentially cause a miscarriage, and so they take the health of pregnant women a little bit more seriously and don't let them compete. It's just frustrating that it happens that they don't catch the pregnancy before the season starts, because I feel like if they're going to be eliminated like this.
Can you catch it? Can you catch pregnancy?
Yes, you can catch pregnancy. It's contagious. So, but I just feel like they should be catching these sooner so that it doesn't actually create these non-elimination episodes and all that. And because if they're going to get disqualified anyway,
somebody did go home. It's just we didn't get to see an elimination challenge.
Yeah, and look, this was not a good episode because of this. It was not a good episode. I love Casey. I've loved seeing her this season, but her getting eliminated because we discover she's pregnant is crap. It is a crappy story. It is crap for her that she can't compete. It's crap for whoever didn't get on the season because she was there instead. And it's crap because Tyler got screwed, basically. We'll get into that. Why this even makes
you're
Tyler
still upset over Tyler.
Yeah, and we'll get into why this makes Tyler even more screwed. It's just a crappy situation. The way they apply the rules, we'll get to that. But I just hate that pregnancy is not being dealt with by the producers well. And it's really, really, really hurting the episodes where it comes to light, and I think it ruins like how I like fall in love with these characters. Like, I really was rooting for Casey. I really was rooting for Natalie to do well when she was got on the regular challenge season, and it's like, oh, they get cut short, and it's like not even their fault, and then maybe we'll see them again, but maybe not. Like, and I don't know, it just feels so unfulfilling. It feels so unfulfilling. I'd rather just not have them on the season.
Moral of the story: don't have kids.
Yeah. Well, moral of the story is catch the pregnancies before you get cast in the show, because you're not going to be able to compete to the end of the show regardless.
Yeah. Although I still like mine. Just don't have kids. They ruin your life. And this is coming from two people who can't have children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't catch it.
Thank God. We can't catch the pregnancy. Yes.
Cannot catch it.
So the elimination gets canceled, and Casey and Kahara goes. Why does Kahara leave?
So this is my biggest gripe about this situation. Is that the rules seem to have been applied inconsistently here. Because if we remember the last episode,
Kendall was sent home because of an injury.
Yeah, so a medical reason to be sent home.
To stay. Yeah. But Latarian got to stay and compete in elimination and then eliminate Tyler.
Yes. And in this case, instead of Kahara getting to compete against somebody, whoever, doesn't matter, probably
whoever lost the challenge.
Sure.
So let's say Tech.
Sure, let's say Tech. Instead,
he just goes
screwed.
Home.
He gets screwed. And in the same way, like, Tyler got screwed. It's just because this is like, if this was a different situation, like, Tyler would have been still in the game this round. If the rule was applied that way last episode. So it's just like, I hate the inconsistent rules, application of rules. I don't even know what it's supposed to be anymore. Maybe it was more fluid last episode because the pairs had just been formed. But I
and
think
the
that's
pair was
crap.
voted in.
Yeah, I think it's crap, and I hate this.
Yeah, it was just very inconsistent. The only difference is like Casey and Kahada weren't voted in, so that just makes me think if they were voted in, would Kahada still have gone home, or would he have went up against Tech, and just it would have been a repeat of last week?
I have no idea,
Last
but like,
4 weeks,
even if
last month.
it shouldn't be, the rules shouldn't change because Kahada wasn't voted into elimination. Like, if anything, Kahada should have been safer because he wasn't even close to elimination.
Yeah, this is how they probably should have done it. Casey, you go home to have a child. Men, women, you are now safe. Go off stage.
Go do a
Men, compete.
double. Yeah, do it like
Yeah,
double agents at this point,
yeah.
and let the winner of the elimination choose their partner or
Pick,
something.
yeah, pick Melinda and then give Ayanna to Kahada. Ooh,
Yeah.
that would have been interesting. We would have had a mixed team.
Yeah, it would have been more interesting. There would have still been drama. I think this was the created the least drama, and it was the worst outcome, and it felt unfair. I don't even know what the fair way is, but it felt unfair all around.
Yeah. Either way, it was unfair. Casey, we hope you're doing well.
Yeah, all the love to Casey. She really redeemed herself this season, and I loved seeing her, and I hope we see her again.
Yeah, just not pregnant.
Just not pregnant, and you know what? She was looking strong. She looked like she could have made it to the final, and who knows what would have happened then.
Yeah, would she have won? We don't know. Probably not.
Probably not, but you know what? She's not bad at running. Like, she can run.
Yeah, she can run, and
that's half of a
mostly
final.
Yeah, that's pretty much a final. If it's not all running, it's all swimming.
Which is why I wouldn't count her out from a final if she got there.
Yeah, she was good in the final.
And
it's just
why I would count someone like Anissa. Like, you can't run, you're not going to win. You can't run. Even if you're not amazing in other challenges, if you get to a final, you can still win. That's how Amber B did it.
Yeah, that was all. All she had to do was run. CT did all the puzzle work.
Yeah, that's how Yes won. I mean, Yes didn't prove himself in daily challenges. He just could run.
He didn't prove himself in editing.
Yeah,
he just does this for a living.
Yeah.
So by Casey and Kahada, you got screwed. Literally, both of yous.
Yeah, that's episode 7.
Episode 7. King's Palace is now isolating everyone, being like, "You're not King's Palace. Leave."
John A is not allowed to join the Safety Palace chant. Nah, Safety Palace is just for us.
Safety Palace. We didn't go home because
they didn't even compete.
No.
What are you chanting for?
Yeah, you have to stay because another cast member has a child inside them. You guys did nothing. Unless you were the reason that child is there, you did nothing.
Safety Palace, Safety Palace.
It should have been Safety Sex, Safety Sex.
Now, have we ever got a clarification why they sing Palace, but they're called King's Palace?
I think it's Safety Palace because they know, like, we are safe, we're safe, we were just safe.
Well, why don't they go King's Palace, instead of Safety Palace? I guess it has a better ring.
Yeah, like the not alliteration, it's SP, not KP. Impossible. Yeah. We get everyone talking. We see Tech and Ayanna bonding because they love to argue. We see John A be more confident in herself, and she's happy to have a good partner. Flashback to when she had a shit partner.
Yeah, but in Zach.
Every time I see Zach on a challenge, I always think, poor Jenna.
Yeah, he was kind of the worst. I don't know now.
Yeah.
I can only speak to the past and what was recorded.
Yeah. We've never seen a good moment of Zach in the history of the challenge. Maybe when he sacrificed himself for Tony, but I only like that because I hate Amanda. Amanda Stans probably hated it. Wait, you're one. Did you like it?
No.
That was the only time I rooted for Zach, where I was like, yeah, get rid of your shit partner.
So we don't really have a lot of lead up. I mean, it's basically just the house is super divided, and
House is
everyone knows
divided
it.
50-50.
Everyone knows it. No one's hiding it. This
Yeah.
is what it is.
Very obvious. But you know what the good thing is? They're all still being respectful of each other.
That's true.
When it comes to like real life. Because usually we have alliances that just treat each other like shit or treat other people outside their alliance like shit. Flashback to Big Brother 21. We don't talk about it.
Well, it has not gotten ugly.
Toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of. The pettiness comes out this episode.
Yeah. Pettiness is different than just being
not,
a shit.
Yeah, it's not toxic. It's not complete hatred. But we'll get into the salad of it all.
Oh, God. The amount of fights in this show that happen over food.
Don't mess with people's food, dude.
Yeah. We had Pizzagate. We had the whole pasta situation.
What was the pasta situation?
When Corey threw Tony onto a concrete on Final Reckoning.
Oh, yeah!
Devin and Corey in there for 3 episodes.
Tony again?
What?
Are we ever going to see Tony again?
I don't think so. I think he has his win on Champs versus Stars, and it's like, I'm fine. I have my money. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, that was for charity, probably.
Yeah, you get clout.
Yeah, he has kind of a win.
Yeah. So we get right into the challenge, basically.
Yeah, we get to these challenges very quickly. It's like just a quick, 10 minutes of random stuff and then challenge.
Yeah.
So this one is kind of like a mini final. It's run while holding a rope, which is kind of weird.
Well, rope. Yeah.
It's not even attached to them. They literally just have to hold it.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah. Jump off a cetaphra, whatever.
Oh, it's I got it this time. Cenote.
Yeah, jump off a cenote.
Yeah, the cenote is like the cave lake.
Just say jump into a cave.
Yeah, it's like a lake in a cave, and so they call it a cenote. Cenote. It's like a thing.
That's just a challenge trying to prove that they actually are educated.
Yes, it's a natural pit or sinkhole resulting from the collapse of limestone bedrock that exposes groundwater, typically associated with the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, where they are filming this season. So, it fits in with where they are.
Yeah. Geography by LRG.
And Wikipedia.
Thank you. So, jump off the cenote, memorize a board, and then run back, and then so on and so on until you get it right.
Yeah, and this is a mile run from where their answer puzzles are to where they have the cenote is.
It's a mile run. 2 and then a mile back.
I don't know, isn't it like 8 by 8 or something, like 64 tiles or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. So they have to remember 64 tiles, all different colors, different thing. We see many different memorization styles. There's remembering it row by row. There's just trying to see what you remember. There's trying to word associate to a color.
Yeah, and you know what? It got even more complicated because when they first run in, Brad and Jody get there first, and they dive right in, and everyone else stops to get a life vest. But then as you're looking at the puzzle, you're treading water, and I was like, oh my gosh, Brad and Jody didn't get a life vest. Now they have to tread water without assistance the entire time they're trying to memorize this thing. That's so much harder.
Yeah, it's like trying to memorize while trying not to drown.
Yeah, I mean, and you can tread water, if you're a swimmer, you can tread water for a good while, but it's harder if you're trying to think while you do it.
Yeah, and it looked like the stairs where you can get out, you can still see the board, so I probably just would stood over there. It's like, okay, where you don't have to tread water, you just hold on to the railing and just look.
Yeah, so what is the move here? What do you do?
It depends on how you remember things. Do you remember things section by section? Do you try to just go for it all at once? I think for me, I would have done it section by section. It would have required a lot more running. Unless you try and do 2 sections at once. It's like, I'll remember the first 3 of the first 2 rows. You remember the last 3 on each of the 2 rows. And then you do that.
Yeah, I think I'm turning it into a mnemonic device, and I'm taking a good 30 minutes right there because if you're taking it row by row, that is too much running every time you go, uh, every time you do another round of memorization, and that's a lot. That's a lot of running to do for each row because it was like 6, 8 rows, something like that, and I think I would just like stick it out, be like, this is gonna be 30 minutes. Let's just do the 30 minutes in the water, come up with mnemonics. Let's work together to memorize the mnemonic, and then let's go back and solve this thing in one go. That would be my gut instinct for it.
Yeah, I think mine is that, but with the running, it's gonna be like we're gonna be going back and forth over and over again. So we might as well just take our time memorizing a section and then just go for it each time. And then like at one point it doesn't matter how fast you run in between, it's more about the memory. So we could just like do like a little jog, walk to try and remember. But you can see it was getting to everyone. It's like the constant back and forth. And once you finish it and hear it's not right, you have to go through all of them to make sure which one is the wrong one.
Yeah, and this is hard. This is just a hard challenge. And I think it showed like who could run, who could memorize, and I like that this was kind of like a mini final. It really played like a mini final. This was a really good challenge. Solid
Yeah.
all around.
Very good challenge. And this is when I noted with the music, when they played songs that sound familiar. They played Neutron Dance, which was a Drag Race lip sync song. So I was like, I recognize this.
So it's first to finish.
Yeah.
I guess because there's not a lot of like crazy things that happen, but first to finish, MJ and John
MJ and
A.
John A. Yay! They get a challenge win. Last to finish, once again, Laterian and Jasmine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brad and Jody freaked out for like 2 seconds, but was anyone really concerned that they
Jody
weren't going to
started
get
crying, not because she was like, "Oh my god, we did so bad." She's just like, "Thank God, no more running."
it?
That's the real reason why everybody cries. It's like, thank God it's over.
And I'm a little sad that Jasmine and LT lost this one because I felt like if they didn't lose, they weren't going to get voted in.
Yeah, because all the target is on Nehemiah and Melinda because they are the most vocal and they're both Palace members. While Tech and Ayanna, Tech is Palace and Ayanna is just hated. And then Laterian is Palace and Jasmine is connected to the other side.
Yeah.
So.
And there's no life shields in play this time either. So,
yeah,
because there was no elimination the previous episode.
Yeah, and apparently there's TJ said like no more life shields from this point on, even though there was a life shield in the next episode.
I don't think he didn't say that. He just said there's no life shields in play this round because no one had one.
No one had a life shield.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he said life shields are done from this point on. Must have misheard.
You must have.
Yeah, because I was confused, and I thought you said there was no more life shield. What?
I wouldn't have been upset if there wasn't. It kind of became useless by the end.
Yeah, everyone figured out the trick behind it.
But anyway, we get to like everyone hanging out, strategizing.
Yes. Oh wait, first, well, is it when does Greek sell? Oh wait, no. First is Deliberations.
Okay.
Where pretty much John A is like, we don't know how long is left, and we're allied with the two strongest teams. Should we go for it?
Yeah. John A was really considering going against one of her very tough allies, Jarrell and Janelle, or Brad and Jody.
Jody. But MJ was like, nah, let's just, we don't know what the future holds by steps. Let's just keep it simple and throw in the King's Palace.
Yeah. And that's a really tough call because you don't have control necessarily over who goes into elimination the round before the final.
Yeah.
And so it's like, do you make the big move now and risk someone trying to get revenge on you? or
keep it safe.
keep it safe. It's a tough call. And then if they get to
Yeah.
the final and win, it's like, there's
Yeah.
always the coulda, shoulda, woulda of it. And
Yeah. And we're saying like keep it safe. It's not like Melinda and Nehemiah aren't also good competitors.
oh yeah, yeah. I think
And it's
throwing
like
Nehemiah and Melinda in there is totally
yeah, because it's
fair.
not only a strong team, it's a strong team that isn't working with you.
Yeah. I'm sure that made it a lot safer. If Nehemiah and
Let's
Melinda were like Tech and Ayanna instead, like I
or
think
if
the
it was like
temptation would be a lot bigger.
yeah, I think if it was like Nehemiah and Melinda that came last, and it was Tech and Ayanna and Latarian and Jasmine,
hmm
I think the temptation would be more there because it's like instead of throwing Jasmine and Latarian up, she would have thrown Jody and Brad or Janelle and Darrell.
Yeah.
My laptop's dying, so I'm just going to move it closer to the.
So, but they play it safe and they put in they nominate Tech and Ayanna and Nehemiah and Melinda.
Yes.
So,
And now we get to Greek salad. So people party on the challenge. They like to have fun. They don't necessarily like to clean up after themselves. Neither do most people.
They must have a maid service, right?
I don't think they do because I remember in other challenge houses is them constantly complaining about the mess. Because like in shit they would have shown back when that was a thing, they should really bring that back. There would always be segments on them complaining about how dirty the challenge house gets.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I like know how dirty the Big Brother house gets, and ew.
Yeah,
people do not live well.
Another reason why I'd never do that show. That and I'd never be casted.
Oh, I would totally be the person who cleans nonstop in it.
Oh no, I'm the opposite. I mean, I would if I clean my own things. I just don't want to clean other people's things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it just becomes
I hate like food.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I worked in the restaurant industry. Like I worked doing some dishwashing and stuff. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it bothers me, especially like if it gets wet. Ugh.
Just wash your hands afterwards.
Oh no, still it always just feel like
Wear
it's
gloves.
on me. Do they have gloves? Oh, then I'd fear it'd be like it go in because those rubber gloves they're never like tight to the skin.
Mm-hmm.
They're always like loose. So I'll just do the laundry.
So anyway, they're partying, and the end of the night happens.
Ayanna takes it up on herself to clean. Nobody asks her. Nobody tells her. She just does it by herself of her own free will.
Mm-hmm.
And Jody, she wants to go and get she left a Greek salad out for her later, but then Ayanna cleans it away. And then Ayanna goes off telling her, well, something about privilege. I don't remember the exact wording. I just remember privilege was the word used.
She said like I'm something about being a maid or something.
Yeah, she goes off about being a maid, even though she's doing it out of her own will. Nobody's telling her to do it.
Yeah. And it all kind of seemed like a deflection. But anyway, then we get to the vote.
Well, first we get Jasmine going off on her. We get the return of the Jasmine we all remember.
Yes.
She goes off because people realize Ayanna is one of those people who would just say things just to push her buttons. And Jasmine called her out.
Yeah. Yes, she did.
Yeah. So we get to nominations. Melinda brings up the facts like, I didn't insult you guys by calling you privileged. And then Ayanna says, I promised my partner I wouldn't talk. So Tech, go ahead. Tech is pretty much like, listen, shut up. Don't say a word. And we'll be fine.
Yeah. And then they do the vote.
Yeah. And then after the vote, now you can talk.
So Melinda and Nehemiah get voted in, and then Ayanna reveals the truth.
To be honest, I skipped this part.
Well, you skipped it?
I was in a rush to watch the episode.
Okay, this was the best part. Okay, so she goes.
I heard a bit and it's like, I ate your salad, and it was delicious.
And it was delicious. She licks each of her fingers. It was the best salad. I don't regret it a bit.
Oh, now I'm happy I skipped it. That's
No,
not.
it was
It's such an
hilarious.
awkward moment.
But she just like declaring that she ate her salad like without apology. She's like, "Yeah, I'm glad I ate it. I would eat it again."
Oh, that's
Like,
somebody
let's
who's
not.
just
That's
trying
even.
to. Oh, that's just somebody that's trying for attention.
Oh yeah,
And
but
this,
it was funny though, and
and the
people are mostly
sad thing
laughing.
is, I don't even think she was doing it for attention. I think she just did it because she thought, I'm going to say this.
Yeah, and
Like,
Jody
you
paid
know
for
how?
that salad.
Why did she pay for it?
I
Did they
guess
not just
because
get?
like what I don't. I guess they didn't always get their own food. Like apparently, like they were out somewhere, and she bought the salad.
Apparently.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah. What do you think? Exactly.
Anyway, I thought it was hilarious. I don't think anyone took her that seriously.
I'm happy I skipped it.
I would go back and watch. That was funny.
I will not watch that.
And also, it's like, oh, she ate the salad.
Oh God.
Great
Oh.
salad thief of Challenge All Stars 2.
Yeah, like I said, these challengers and their foods. I'd be less worried about who could beat me up in elimination. I'd be worried about who's going to steal the food.
Who's gonna take my salad?
Yeah. I'd just be afraid. These people get violent. I think this is the first quote unquote food fight that didn't get violent.
That's I think that's true.
Yeah, like we had no pizzas being thrown on people having sex. We've had no heads being pushed to concrete.
For shame.
I'm
I
pretty sure there's a third one I'm not mentioning.
I mean, the challenge house being a place of violence is both like problematic and also a staple of the show. I can't imagine challenge not having that to some degree.
I'm trying to think of one challenge season that had like not like no violence, but like no like threat of violence. So any pre-Josh season, because you know he has to get into a stupid fight every season, so people
I think
remember
the
him.
All-Star seasons have been tame.
Well, that's All Stars. It's different. It's not people there looking for attention.
Okay.
Flag mainstream challenge, or as Johnny calls it, flagship challenge.
Oh gosh, I mean, it's the early ones were all fighting over everything.
Yeah, they would fight over the stupidest things.
Even when there was no money over it. Like our first episode of Battle of the Sexes 1 or 2, there was Puck spitting on somebody.
Yeah, and then Battle of the also there was a fight in the girl side between Julie and one of her former housemates.
Which was the one where the guys stole all the toilet seats?
Probably Battle of the Sexes too.
Because they would have been living in separate houses from the.
Yeah. And even that, there was fights. There was like girls fighting with each other because they hated each other.
Yeah.
Guys fighting each other because it's like, I don't want to eliminate my friend even though he sucks.
Yep.
Yeah. Everyone says girls are all cliquey. Guys are the worst for being cliquey.
I mean, Safety Palace.
Perfect example.
So my big question going into this elimination is, will Melinda finally compete in an elimination? This is her third one that she's going into the arena, and up to this point, she has not actually competed.
No, she's been given a win and then given a cancellation. The good kind of cancellation.
So, like, I'm like, is this gonna be Melinda's like chance to finally compete and just blow it? Like, that'd be really interesting.
Every time you say Melinda now, I constantly hear did you see that meme of Little Mix Jessie trying to do a Jamaican accent?
No.
There's a clip on it where Jessie tries to do a Jamaican accent. She just makes this weird noise. And it's like look it up. So
sounds familiar.
Yeah. It was a meme at the time. It's probably a while ago. Mm-hmm. So, turns out the elimination is not canceled. Everybody competes. And it's one person has to look at the floor and try and communicate a puzzle to their partner. while it's being filled with sand. I
Yeah.
think that's it.
Yeah, so there were 6 potential solutions to this like gear puzzle.
And they had to figure out
And
which one was the right one.
yeah, and so you can't really figure it out just by looking at it. So you have to just start to put it together and see if it doesn't work or not. And so
Yeah.
the one person's in the room filling with sand and trying to shout out to the partner.
Colors, sizes, where to put it.
Yeah, yeah. And then the
And
other person's putting it together. So it's just
yeah.
it's a little bit of guesswork and communication.
Yeah, which Jasmine and Laterian struggles because Laterian's not known for good listening and he's reaching a certain age, according to Jasmine. And Nehemiah and Melinda win the elimination. Melinda's first official win.
Yeah, Jasmine was funny here though. She's like, I am a teacher, and
Yeah, I'm a teacher, I'm a mother, I know how to communicate with people, I know that I just have to speak slowly. It's like, vegetarian. Left, okay. And so that's the end of Laterian and Jasmine. Laterian
came an episode
nothing.
later than we thought it would. Two episodes later.
2 episodes later in Jasmine's case.
Yeah.
Because, my God, she should have been eliminated. Oh, there were so many times she could have been thrown in, but nobody threw her in.
Yeah, for the most part, our predictions have been coming, like, somewhat accurate, like...
Yeah. And this is the second time Laterian's been eliminated in the second to last elimination. Because it happened last season, too.
Yeah, has he ever seen a final?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to.
No, he's just not... He's not well diverse when it comes to what he's good at in challenges.
Yeah.
Like, he's there to compete, and he's good in physical stuff, but everything else he's just...
The credit I will give him for this season is he had moments. He had moments.
Yeah, he had some moments.
His rant after his win against Tyler. Okay, he has a moment.
It's more than what he had last season.
He's in Safety Palace.
Yeah. He looked like he had a lot more fun this season.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And honestly, I can't tell you anything else about Laterian this season.
Yeah. I dropped my earphone.
He is generally one of the most boring people on this season and this show.
Very much so.
Well, and I honestly wish they'd stop casting him.
There's a long list of boring people that MTV should stop casting, and yet they still do.
I mean,
one of them just won the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, casting like unlikable people, I can understand it more than people.
Yeah, like Josh, while he's so bad. Wait, what were you saying?
Who was the British guy from War of the Worlds who kind of got invited back a few times?
Joss?
Not Joss.
Rogan.
The other annoying one.
Bear?
Yeah, Bear. It's like Bear's not likable. I don't know who roots for Bear.
Gold.
But he's good at confessionals. He's good, like a good character. So it's like, okay, I get why they bring him back. I don't get why, and I don't understand why Laterian has been back at all, ever.
In All-Stars case, I can understand because like there's a limited pool of old school people to come back.
Yeah, but they brought him back last season, and he still wasn't exciting.
Yeah. I can kind of understand it for All-Stars because they're old school players. They're not going to be there for the show.
Yeah.
Regular challenge, however, why do you keep bringing some of these people back?
Like, I would understand, like, okay, like if they bring back Sophia next season or something.
That's understandable because she kind of got
Sophia,
screwed.
And she was out so early. Like, we just didn't get a chance to see much from her. Like, I would understand that. But Laterian has had so many chances to show himself and like to be a character on TV. And he's been around for long parts into seasons and has never had a memorable moment, really.
No.
Like, come on. Come on now.
I guess my telly died. No more random animator on fire. Yeah, I think people come up with the excuses like, Oh, when he won his very first elimination, when he won his very first challenge last season, those were moments. But people win eliminations, people win challenges.
Yeah.
So what?
And they weren't like so.
Yeah, and it's not like he did anything big with them, like move wise.
Yeah.
Like, take when Casey won her first challenge, or when Steve won the challenge. They made a move.
Mm-hmm.
While Steve is another boring person, he did something to affect the game.
I remember things about Steve, though. He looks like Aquaman, and he's a hand model, and he insulted Derek's shirt. Like, I remember those things. That's 3 more things than Letarian.
Yeah. I'm not the one to say what I remember from Letarian, because I remember most things when it comes to reality shows. When it comes to life, no. I literally forgot I had an assignment due.
Oops.
So, yeah, shows you where my priorities are. Like, I can remember Letarian that he won against Ace. He won a challenge against Kendall. No, with Kendall. He's originally from Road Rules. He's done Battle of the Sexist and Gauntlet 1.
Yeah, see,
I
I don't
remember
remember
his...
any of those details.
Yeah, but I can remember his stats. I can't remember him as a person. I remember him as a stat.
Yeah, I only remember the character. Like, if you are an interesting person, I will remember you. If you are not, I will not.
Yeah, like, if I ask you a question about Casey, you'll most likely answer it correctly. If I ask you one about Letarian, you'd be like, who?
Yeah, I'd have to be like, I know he was on seasons.
Yeah. Quick question. Casey was... True or false? Casey was on The Ruins.
I want to say false.
Nope, true. We're not leading good by example.
Okay, but if you say name a member from Casey, I mean, like, all of her whining to go through the eliminations with Wes, like, absolutely, I remember that.
Name somebody she beat in one of those 5 eliminations. Name a pair.
Oh gosh, that would have been first Fresh Meat.
Yes. Literally just name anyone from Real World Austin.
I don't know the Real World seasons. Was Kenny one of those that they beat?
No.
One
of them is on this season. 2 of them were on this season.
I don't know. Okay, wait. Who is on Fresh Meat and on this season?
They might have been a pair.
I gotta look at who's on this season.
One of them might have been someone.
Katie. Katie, did they beat Katie?
That was one of the times she didn't go into elimination.
Okay, did they beat?
They might be a member of King's Palace. They might be the only girl.
Oh, Nehemiah and Melinda.
One of those people.
Nehemiah.
The other one.
Melinda.
And her partner who went home early. And was gay.
Ryan.
That took way too much effort.
Dude, I don't know these facts. I have not rewatched any of the challenge seasons. If I rewatch them, I'll start to get those details ingrained in my head. But I've watched everything once, and it was on a binge. So sometimes that was done while cleaning in the other room.
Did you throw any Greek salad?
Probably. I probably stole somebody's and ate it, and then licked my fingers afterwards.
Just for the record, the 5 people that Casey sent home were Danny and Evelyn, Ryan and Melinda, Johanna and Jesse, Shane and Lynette, and who was the last team? I want to say Theo and Shonda. That sounds right.
Theo would be a good one to bring back.
Yeah, I think he's
because he has a real career.
Yeah, I think that's why he's not coming back, because he's already successful.
Yes, but I would love to see him back.
Yeah. Oh god, we're an hour in and we still have one more episode to talk about.
Okay, yeah. So episode 9.
Yeah, we miss Jasmine as well. She's fun. I'd love to see her come back, but purely for confessions.
Love Jasmine. We'll love to see her again. She totally gets my vote to return. She's been great with confessionals. Not bad at the challenges. I could have seen her there was a world where they could have very well won this elimination. Like this was
Very
not in
much
the
so.
if they just picked the right solution from the start, which was a crapshoot, they could have won it. Like
Yeah, kind of a luck-based elimination.
yeah, and if she wins this one and doesn't come in last place somehow, there's a good chance that she makes the final.
No, she does make the final because the winning people in the elimination get the final lifesaver that
That's
guarantees them the
right. So she would
final.
have made it to the final.
Her first fight. Oh, can we rewind time? Here, Erica, where's that hourglass for you to smash?
It would have been pretty amazing if Jasmine made it to the final. She would not have won. She would have been terrible.
No, she probably would have died.
But I would have loved to seen it. Here for and so instead, Melinda and Nehemiah are secured a spot in the final with this win.
Melinda makes her first final. She gets her first elimination win. She makes it to the first final.
Melinda's been good this season.
Melinda's been consistent.
Nehemiah's been a big character. He's been strong at times, but also like more aggressive with his strategy. And I appreciate that to some degree, that he's not just playing it safe. And I think that's helped him get this far.
Yeah, Nehemiah has been a character I did not expect to see.
Yeah. Normally, he's someone who just kind of plays with the house, and this time he's formed his own
controlling the house. He's controlling the palace.
Yes, and so episode 9 begins the same way as the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, so this episode continues on of wow, they really do blend together.
It's because they all start the same way. It's safety palace, safety palace,
safety palace. They should make a song.
Safety palace, safety palace.
Yeah, they could actually make a song. Like, you know how in Survivor, Coach JT and Courtney formed a band?
Oh yeah, the Dragons.
Yeah, and they had that song where literally only Courtney was good.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I would have really appreciated like how they did in Survivor this past season with Shan's song. How they turned it into a piece of orchestration of this in the show. Like I would have appreciated if they did that in the challenge. I was kind of listening for it. I haven't heard it yet. But...
What you humming? Oh, nothing.
Everyone's talking about how annoyed they are about hearing this song over and over because it's getting stuck in their head.
Yeah, and now MJ does the Denali face towards the camera. Like really. Denali for challenge. She can ice skate everyone.
So we get the first feature of death for the episode. This time it's Janelle.
Yeah. Now Janelle is hurting. She brings up the fact that she has a former back injury and she's worried. And if this wasn't a partner season, she would have quit and left already.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that she's tied with Darrell, and we just saw what happened with Casey and Gahada, she doesn't want to drag Darrell out of the game.
Yeah. Although even if she doesn't want to willingly, it could still drag Darrell out of the game.
Yeah, it's not like she can say, "Can I go home, but Darrell stay?"
Yeah.
Wait, maybe if she did quit, they would have brought back Jasmine, and then Jasmine and Darrell would have been partners.
That would be fun.
Because sometimes when they bring back the last person eliminated.
Yeah, except they haven't been doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was done in the beginning of the episode, they would do it.
Maybe, yeah.
It's also COVID time, so they might not be able to do that, depending on...
certain. Well, they did it on Double Agents when Ashley returned.
Yeah, but she was like just eliminated.
She was the very first one eliminated, and then every other girl after her left because of medical reasons.
Oh, that's right.
Or so getting injured.
Quarantining right away.
Yeah. It was like, Ashley, you have been eliminated. Nicole, you're injured. Liv, you're injured. Yeah. Natalie, you're pregnant.
That was a lot.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, so we get the usual talk, and then we go to the challenge, another one that involves large vehicles because TJ just has a boner for them.
Oh, yeah. TJ loves big trucks.
Yeah. You know,
big man loves big truck.
Yeah. So they have to jump onto a truck, untie boxes, and get keys. unlock a box, jump back onto the center truck, and then unlock a box. All within a certain limit of time, or else the two smaller trucks will drive away with them on it.
Yeah, and it
And
seemed very difficult.
yeah, everyone was struggling to untie boxes. Brad decides to go full straight man and go aggro and rip off the boxes, which is such a Brad thing to do.
Yeah, Darrell and Janelle go first, and we're expecting them to do great. Janelle finishes, she gets on the truck, and then Darrell gets stuck on a lock and cannot open the lock.
No.
And their time runs out, and I'm like, whoa! I haven't seen Darrell time out on a challenge.
Ever?
Is this a first?
I think it might be. Somebody with better challenge. I don't think he's ever. No, I don't think he's ever come in last in a challenge. Maybe losing a team challenge, but those are team challenges, so you can't really say much about those. Yeah, I think no, baby, no.
This just feels like a very rare moment
rare moment in challenge history. Darrell timing out.
Yeah,
and then pretty much every guy is the reason their team times out.
Yeah, Nehemiah comes through.
Yeah, except for Nehemiah and Melinda, they're the only team to finish, and they're the only team to win.
Yeah, all the women finish.
Yeah, TJ even calls it out. TJ calls it out. He says that the women were amazing. Yay, we support women. I remember he did this in another season where he was like, I think it was Double Agents, where all the women like tried in the challenge, and then all the guys didn't. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it was a helicopter challenge where they all had to hold on to a helicopter bag and like wrestle each other, but all the guys like dropped on purpose because it was like,
oh, that's right. Yeah, they were trying to make us win.
Yeah, they're like trying to make somebody win, or like trying to make sure somebody loses.
Yeah.
And then TJ was like, all you guys suck.
Yeah.
So we're making this a men's elimination.
But
I remember he did something big.
I think he worded it something like that, but it totally was already planned.
Yeah, I feel like he said something big to be like, to punish the men. Oh yeah, none of the guys could vote except for the 3 or 4 that actually competed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was like only, I want to say Devin, Jay, Leroy, and maybe one other guy actually tried.
I love when TJ makes up rules.
Yeah, especially when it fucks over men, because we all know the challenge is known for its toxic masculinity.
Yes, it is. So Brad, speaking of toxic masculinity, he cannot untie the locks. He's not able to like untie the lock boxes, and so he just starts ripping them off and ripping them open. It's like, Brad, you must know
you're going to
that this is not allowed. Like you have to know that, right? Like you've seen you've been in the challenge before.
I can understand maybe doing the first one by accident because you're just like aggressively pulling.
But then he just starts breaking all of them without even trying to unlock them.
Yeah, maybe he thought like, well, I'm already disqualified. Might as well get through this quickly.
Maybe, but
yeah, but oh god, if Brad didn't prove that he was just an absolute meathead idiot before, he definitely proved it now.
Yep.
So thanks to Brad, he and Jody get DQ'd and go into elimination.
Because even though other people didn't finish, DQ counts as being worse than not finishing.
Yeah, DQ counts as not even participating at all. You might as well as pull a Katie and said, fuck it, I'll go into elimination. I don't want to do this heights over water challenge. And since Melinda and Nehemiah won, it's kind of obvious who the 2 nominees are. So it's not Tech and Ayanna because Safety Palace. I swear I've heard that melody before somewhere.
Probably. It's not that complex.
Yeah. And so MJ, Nehemiah, and Darrell and Janelle are up for elimination. And the only people with the power to vote are Tech and Nehemiah, or Tech and Ayanna.
So when they do the nominations, Nehemiah and Melinda decide to use their life shield. So they nominate Tech and Ayanna and then use their life shield on them. Like, why? Why bother using the life shield? This is pointless.
I think just for shits and giggles, I think. That's the only thing I can think of.
It's pointless.
Like, let's nominate them. You nominate us. We're gonna use our life shields on you. That's like actually I can't think of anything. I was gonna say nomming somebody then using a veto on them, but I've heard some people use that as a strategy.
That totally can be a strategy because then you can kind of backdoor.
Yeah.
People.
I think I'm more thinking of nomming someone, targeting them, realize, oh, maybe I won't target them, and then use the veto on them. Like when Kylan nommed Claire the first time. It's like, I'm planning on targeting Claire. Oh wait, maybe I shouldn't target Claire. I'll target Brittany instead.
Yeah.
Like that, for example. But enough about Big Brother. Enough about bad shows. We're on to a slightly less worse show. So Ayanna and Tech, and ultimately Melinda and Nehemiah as well, decide to vote in Darrell and Janelle because Darrell's won 4 finals. And Janelle's won the only final she's been into.
Yeah, so this was what we thought might happen. Look, at the beginning of the season, I called it out. I was like, Darrell is going to have to pay up at some point for this season.
Didn't expect it to be at the very end of the season.
I didn't expect it to be this late. I thought people would start to throw him in earlier, but finally, people are like, Darrell almost won this last year. We need to throw him into elimination.
Yeah. Darrell's has won every final he's been into and almost won last season.
Yeah.
And once again, Jonna makes it through another season without seeing an elimination.
She is the politicking queen.
Yeah, bravo to this girl. Jonna, if the challenge doesn't work out and it gets too extreme for you, sign up to Big Brother. While it is a terrible show, you will do amazing on it because you'll never be nommed.
Yep. Absolutely.
I don't know, and you can probably win a few HOHs. Not all of them are physical. Some of them are really stupid.
A lot of them are crapshooty, so Jonna could totally win.
I remember watching a video of, it was like those videos where it's like some of the all-stars watching other challenges from other shows, and they were watching Big Brother challenges, and they were all like, can we do this? This is so simple. All they had to do is run back and forth and not fall.
Yep.
On the challenge, we had to make sure we don't die.
Big Brother is not supposed to be like a stunt show, though.
Yeah, maybe there's 1 or 2 comps that you're like, wow, this is intense. Pressure Box from BB6.
I mean that's not even. They've gotten more physical for sure, but they're not they're still not hardcore.
The one hardcore challenge of Big Brother that I can think of off the top of my head is Big Brother Canada 1, when Jillian and Topaz are hanging onto a wall and being blasted with freezing cold water. That's the one thing I can think of, because it's cold water, it's endurance, and it's they're leaning and actually using proper strength.
You know what the challenge has not done in a long time? An endurance challenge.
I think they count the running challenges as endurance.
It's not the same. I mean, they haven't done one where you have to hang on a rope and just not fall into a water or something.
I don't think they've ever really done that. Maybe racing type challenges.
No, they totally early challenge seasons totally did. I remember Cyrus falling in the water in one of the Battle of the Sexes seasons and being almost being the first eliminated.
Yeah. Also, early challenge seasons were here, set up dominoes on roller skates.
Yeah, but they haven't done not done an endurance challenge daily in some time.
A Survivor type challenge, hold on to this thing, don't fall.
Exactly.
I remember there was one in Battle of the Sexes too, where they had to hold on to
Wait, there was one. There was kind of one. When were they holding on to those rocket ship type shaped things?
Oh, that was Total Madness. That was the trivia challenge.
Yeah, so that kind of had some endurance element to it.
Yeah, I guess so.
But not fully.
Yeah. So yeah, bring back those challenges. I think it's because what are they going to film other than just people hanging there?
I suppose, but I don't know.
Yeah, because
Sometimes it's
they're
fun to
thinking
watch.
of the entertainment.
Well, then why do they do some of the challenges they do? Because I
Why
can
do they
tell you
cast
that
some of the people they do?
they're not always entertaining. Um,
So yeah, we
so
get to nothing really happens in between. Just Janelle worrying about her back. That's really all that happens. And John A crying to Nehemiah, being like, "Thank you for saving me."
yeah, I mean, Janelle was considering quitting, and Darrell is like, just wait, just hold on. It's like, can't you at least wait to see what the elimination is?
Before you
Or
decide to quit,
yeah, like it could be a non-physical thing. It could just be a
which it
puzzle.
wasn't really.
Yeah, and
It's
then
more physical
or
for one of them.
um, I was thinking, why didn't Janelle go play up her injury a little bit? Because like, if people are like, oh wait, Darrell and Janelle can't. Her back's bad. Why would we worry about her? We can throw in John A and MJ. Like Janelle should have been playing this up for people. She might not have been thrown in
Because the
if it looked
challenge
like.
people don't care about the females, they only fear males.
Yeah, but these are teams. I mean, and
Ex-
Jody
My
and
point proven. They only
it,
focus on the male partners. They never focus on the females.
if it looked like, if Janelle could have made it look like that she and Darrell would have for sure lost against Brad and Jody, I don't think it was a guarantee that they were getting thrown in.
I think they wouldn't have mattered because Darrell would have went home. They don't care about the female partners. If you notice, whenever there's partner seasons,
But if they race the finals in pairs and she's nerfing him essentially, why not go after Janelle and MJ, John A and MJ at that point? They become a bigger threat. I think she should have played it up. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe it wasn't going through her head, or maybe she was afraid. If I play it up, maybe the producers will kick me off.
No, I don't think her brain thinks like that. I think it would have gone against her sense of ethics to
fake it.
To fake it, but I mean, I think you absolutely should do that.
Yeah,
especially this close to the final. Like you can just escape elimination. Absolutely do that. Do whatever it takes.
I still don't think it wouldn't have mattered. They would have just thrown them in to be like, well, this way Darrell will go home.
Yeah. Can we talk about the vote itself?
Where Tech and Ayanna was pretty much saying, yeah, Nehemiah and Melinda told us to vote for you guys, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah. So they tried to force a tie.
Yeah, I was really waiting for like, we don't know what happens in a tie situation. I assume the winning team votes.
That's what happened. They
did they force it?
They forced a tie.
I skipped through most.
It's fine. They forced a tie, and so Nehemiah and Melinda got to pick who goes into elimination. It's just like,
and they
why?
picked Darrell and Janelle.
It's like everyone knows that you colluded together anyway. Like, why does it even matter?
Again, I think they just did it for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
I think since they know, like, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. So anyway, they go to elimination.
And it's elimination where they have to break up items, throw them in a hole, break them up smaller, heaviest box wins.
Smash House!
Oh, is that what? Oh, I get it, because of the... Oh, no, that's Smash
This is one of my favorite classic challenges.
Classic? Hasn't it only been used once?
It's been used a couple times, but I love it.
I only remember it in Bloodlines.
Oh, no, it was used early, in one of the early seasons, too.
Must have been the season I don't remember that well.
And I absolutely love this one. I remember, I think it was like a Battle of the Sexes season.
Oh, probably the first one then.
It was one of the Battle of the Sexes where they had to. It was like a rock star theme challenge. They had to destroy like a backstage dressing room or something. Team get all and like how much they can get into through the tiny hole. And I think this is so much fun. I love just chaotic destruction, and I would love to compete in this. And so I was psyched to see this as an elimination because I'm like, I just don't expect them to do challenges like this anymore.
Yeah, they don't do anything fun anymore.
And this one's fun. This one is fun, and it's still challenging. It's still tough, and so I loved it.
There's nothing more entertaining than just breaking stuff.
Breaking a lot of things, shoving them into small holes.
Yeah, and that's how Casey got pregnant.
And then shoving. No, not that kind of podcast. And then they shove it into a smaller hole. Fuck it. We're an hour 20 minutes into this.
We're tired. We have 3 episodes to go over.
It's okay. Break down what they're doing here. So each pair is in a separate room. So we have, for both teams, they end up choosing to have their guy in the main room where he is breaking cinder blocks and shelves and shoving things into a 6-inch hole. And then their partner, in this case, they chose the woman to be there. They take the objects shoved through the 6-inch hole and break them down further to be able to fit into a 3-inch hole where things will fall into a basket.
And be weighed. Heaviest wins.
Yeah. And so there's a couple strategies they're using here.
Yes. Jody is breaking them up more. Janelle is more just on the knees, like carefully going through which is bigger that can fit through, while Jody's like break and hurry.
Yeah, Janelle's just taking what's already broken. Jody's trying to break things more.
Yes, she's trying to really make sure that they fit. And when they get out, Darrell gets a little nervous because he sees a couple of things that bounced out of the box onto the ground that won't get weighed. And in true challenge fashion, it's separated by 1 kilogram.
Or 2 pounds.
Or 2 pounds. Yes, whatever way they decide to weigh it.
Love that they clarified.
Yeah.
I did think the strategy, so Brad and Darrell have different strategies too. So Brad, I really like what he was doing. He was throwing the cinder block on the ground, chucking it on the ground right next to the hole, so then he can just throw them all down and then shove a few pieces through. And then Darrell was using the sledgehammer, which, granted, he was using the sledgehammer on the cinder blocks as they were like still on top of shelves, and probably did not get the best leverage that way. So I really like Brad's strategy in that case. And it does seem, though, that like Janelle's strategy of just letting Darrell do the work for the most part of smashing, and her just doing the moving, that seemed to be more successful.
Yeah, well, Brad's was better at the start, Janelle's was better at the end.
Yes. And it's how you finish, not how you start.
Yes. And so Jesus Christ. Darrell and Janelle barely win the elimination, and Jody and Brad go home. For a second season in a row, the top female goes home right before the final. Because last season we had Kendall, and this season was Jody.
Yeah, this is brutal for Brad and Jody, because they were absolute beasts. They were the front runners this season, even compared to Darrell and Janelle. I mean, we knew Darrell was a beast, but Jody elevated Brad and Jody's team to where it seemed like they were the ones to actually beat. And they just totally put themselves this season. Both. Most of these competitors, I mean, they were okay characters too.
Yeah, Jody was great. Brad was Brad. He didn't do anything terrible.
Yeah, Brad wasn't bad.
Yeah,
but
no.
I was honestly surprised. I thought if they did make the finals, then the editing was so heavy-handed for them to win.
Yeah, but they didn't make the finals.
Yeah,
Brad continues his streak of going home right at the end.
Yeah, which now it feels like the final is a little bit more wide open.
Yeah, it's more even. Anyone could win except for Tech and Ayanna.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, like maybe John A can get her first win. Maybe Melinda will get their first win. Who else is in the final again?
Yeah. Can we go over our draft stuff at this point?
Yes, let me just pull it up because there is a lot of editing to do.
Yes. So basically, the last pair, Brad and Jody was the last pair where we both had a person in the pair. All the 4 pairs left, each of us has drafted one of those partners. And the other partner is the team audience. So the audience wins no matter what.
Yes. So
except for Melinda and Nehemiah. That one is all you.
Yeah, so Casey's gone, Brad's gone, Darrell's still there, Kahada's gone.
Assuming they finish the final in pairs, which
gone.
we don't know for sure if they're doing that.
I think does. I think it's
It
safe to
looks
say
like
it
it based
does.
on previews.
Okay. So yeah, you have Darrell and John A left. I have Nehemiah, Tech, and Melinda left. So I have one pair. And then the audience has MJ, Janelle, and Ayanna.
Yeah.
So I'm the only one with a full pair.
Yes.
And then you have one person in each pair.
Which I'm counting as a win at that point. If John A and MJ win or Darrell and Janelle win, I'm proclaiming this a Nathan victory.
It will be a half victory.
What's better than no victory, which is what we got last year.
Yeah, no. Oh god, last year where the most invisible player won. Never before in reality show hit. Well, maybe recency invisible players is starting to be winning because their editing is getting worse.
Mm-hmm. Which you have a real chance with Nehemiah and Melinda. I would not count them out by
they
any
are
means.
a strong pair, and I think Tech is only my only hopeless one, unless he gets a partner change.
Yeah,
which I don't think is happening.
Yeah, because Tech can run.
He's just not good at puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, finally, we got through all 3 episodes. Is there only 3 pairs left?
The 4 pairs.
Nehemiah and Melinda, Tech and Ayanna, I just said Nehemiah and Melinda, yeah. MJ and John A, and Darrell and Janelle.
Yep.
4 pairs left. It looks like everybody's going to die in this next final.
Yeah, I mean, it really, my money, like, I was all in thinking that Brad and Jody would win this thing, and now,
it's all up in the air.
It feels like it's between John A and MJ and Darrell and Janelle a little bit more, but I can't count out Nehemiah and Melinda.
Yeah, like it's definitely gonna be a tight race between those 3. It depends on
if Janelle's back is bothering her, then John A and MJ I would probably bet on.
Yeah. I think I should still go for my pair of Nehemiah and Melinda. That way I still get the win in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'll be happy no matter who wins. Maybe not Tech and Ayanna, but I think I just laugh that they win because, like, oh my god, of course they win.
Well, that would be absurd.
Yeah,
so it'd
it's
be
not
entertaining
like,
in that way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Has there ever been a time somebody's won a season and I was just like, what? No, why did they win? Maybe the Ruins.
Who won?
No, because I was happy for Susie. JK, Derek, and Susie. I just didn't like. Maybe the Island as well. The Island's not a good season. Actually, there are
except the Island has that epic Paula betrayal.
Yeah, but I felt bad for Paula.
Oh, me too. But like that was still.
I think the only people I was happy. Yeah, I think in the Island I was only happy for Evelyn and Derek.
Yeah.
And then it was the same in the Ruins. I was only happy for Derek and Susie.
Yeah, so I don't know that there's ever been a challenge winner where I'm like, I don't think they deserve to win.
It's not that they didn't deserve it. It's more like, why did my least favorite win?
Well, that's happened.
Yeah. Battle of the Seasons, the modern one, with Team San Diego winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a few.
Duel 2, I wasn't happy when Evan won.
I mean, I wasn't happy about the most recent challenge.
Well, that's just because it was a bad season.
Yeah, but even so, there could have been a better winner.
Who was in the final again for that?
It was the final 3 teams were Casey and CT.
No.
There was Tori and Kyle, and there was Devin and
Emmy.
No,
it would have been a lose no matter what, because there's one person on each team I would have hated to see win.
Yeah.
And they're ironically all the girls, which is new for me. Usually I hate the men, but this time I
would have been happier with a Devin Emmy win, I guess.
I just would have not liked to see Emmy win. Although I would have been happy for Devin.
Look, it wasn't a good season. I did watch the finale.
I didn't watch it at all.
It was painful, a little bit, and besides the little bit of drama of Casey and Nani having to compete against each other, like, what drama was there?
No, I wouldn't even count that as drama. I just count that as stupid. Is that an actual thing?
I mean, if it is, no one cares. Like,
Yeah, nobody cares about Casey or Nani. Like,
yep.
neither Casey is boring and Nani's not a good competitor, so.
Well, the problem is they're boring.
Yeah, that's it.
You can't be boring and have fans.
Yeah, oh god, I remember, actually, this is nothing to do, but I was talking to my boyfriend. He's only seen one season of the challenge, and that was Double Agents.
Mhm.
And I told him, I was telling the story of how Nani lost to Melissa while she's been pregnant, and he was like shocked. It's like, Nani's a good competitor, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? She's shit. And then he tried to defend her, and I was like, take it from the person who's seen more seasons than you. She's not good.
Nani's not terrible. She is like average to okay.
No, she's poor to decent.
I wouldn't put her as poor because she's not like a Tyree, you know. She's not like who else loses all the time.
That's why I'd put her in like maybe below average, because she's not good, but she's not like. No, she is kind of bad. It's like she doesn't
Look,
bring anything.
if you lose at the end of the season, that's like a more forgivable than if you lose at the beginning of the season repeatedly.
I'm just trying to think, like, she doesn't do anything that brings something to challenges competitive wise. Like, she's just there.
And she's made 3 finals. That's not a small thing. They're counting the latest season as her making a final. Even though
she's made 2 finals in a row this season, but that's nothing impressive because she did not win that many dailies. I think she only won 1 elimination, and that was after a string of losses.
She made the free agents final, and that's not a small thing.
Yeah, that's probably her most impressive thing.
Yeah,
but again,
that was a tough season, so I think she did good in that.
Yeah, but again, she didn't do anything like big in challenges. She didn't win that many that weren't like big team challenges.
Mm-hmm.
One saying is she needs other people in order for her to get a win.
Yeah, I mean, she's never won, and it's been a lot of seasons. That's not great.
Yeah, like
oh god, how many seasons is it? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I want to say
5,
9,
6, 7, 8, 10, 11 seasons.
11
seasons, and she's never won.
Yeah, 11 seasons, 3 finals, no wins.
She has, I think, 30 daily wins.
How many of those are team wins?
Probably a lot.
Probably 30 of them. They're probably like 26 team wins and then 4 pair wins.
No, she won some free agents ones.
How many of those were pairs?
I don't know. I don't remember. Groups. 3 of them, but she has 2 that she won on her own.
She won on her own?
Or no, they were partners. Oh, they were partners.
There we go. That's the thing. She can't win without other people.
Okay, did she ever win? No, that has a partner. That's when she was partnered with Johnny Bananas. She won a bunch.
Well, that's because she had Johnny.
Partnered with West, she won things. Partnered with Turbo, she won things. Team USA, she won things.
She's never won by herself. The only win I think she has by herself is her elimination win against Gabby, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's like when you think about it and you look at their stats, you're not as good as I originally thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great. It's not terrible, though. I mean, it's still not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's just pretty bad.
Because even if you win as a partner, you still didn't ruin your partner.
Yeah. And if I'm remembering the challenge she won with Bananas, it was that one where it was like everything was a sex-themed challenge.
Wasn't that X's?
Yeah, that was Battle of the X's too.
Yeah.
I mean, to give her credit to something, as much as we give Casey credit of beating 5 people in Exile, she also beat a good few teams in Exile to get back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
But in the words of Naya, she didn't beat anyone impressive.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, because like somebody can have a lot of dailies, but a high majority of those dailies are probably just team dailies.
Well, I'll be really interested to see. I still haven't heard any news yet about
For
casting for the
38,
next for 38, but it'll be
I'm
interesting to see
really
what comes with
hoping
that.
it's going to be better than this season.
I mean, they've heard the criticism. They've definitely heard
They've
it.
been hearing the criticism for a while,
Yeah,
and I
but
don't think they're
now
going
they've
to do
even
anything
heard
about
it
it.
from Johnny Bananas. So they,
Oh yeah, they have to listen to him.
yeah,
I'm still thinking they're going to bring him back just so he's probably going to come back if CT catches up with his win ratio, because CT now has 4 wins.
But Johnny has like 9 wins or something.
He has 7.
7. Okay.
3 more wins and he ties.
Yeah.
And CT can do it. Did you see he skated by this season?
Yeah. CT didn't even have to try.
Yeah.
He didn't make. CT didn't go into elimination.
Because it wasn't necessary anymore. They got rid of that stupid skull twist.
Yeah.
Because now people can easily just skate by like they used to.
Mm-hmm. It was a terrible format. I mean, you have to have something where A, the losers go in, and B, where there's a chance for non-losers to go in.
Yeah.
Who are not necessarily in the numbers.
Yeah. C, more interesting Big Brother people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like all the Big Brother people from this season should not be casted and should immediately be replaced by better Big Brother people.
Yes.
Except for Amber B. They can bring her back since she's a champion.
Agreed.
Yeah. The others, don't bring them back. Casey, you have a win. You can no longer come back in the challenge anymore. The other 2, I don't even want to talk about them. Just don't bring them back. And I'm pretty sure that's it. Here, let's immediately replace them now with better Big Brother people.
You know what's rough about the season is like literally like so many good people went home from
early
and from like non-elimination type things. Like losing Lauren, losing Anissa, losing Ashley.
Lauren was a rookie.
Oh, was she? Oh, sorry. I thought that was Laurel. Sorry. This season's been so long. It's been
like, I thought it was Laurel.
Look, this season has been like 40 episodes. I honestly can't keep track of it.
Yeah, I think they lost the entertaining, the rookies that people were looking forward to too early. Like they lost Michaela, Michelle,
and
basically
Corey.
the Survivor people.
Yeah.
And then none of the other rookies were either interesting or memorable enough. I think, like, if you look at the first 4 girls eliminated, Michaela, Tasha, Michelle, and I don't remember. Okay, maybe ignore the. Okay, maybe not her, but the other 3. Those are 3 people that everyone loved. She was the German girl with Kells.
Oh. I do, when I look at the cast of season 38, we're totally off tangent here.
38?
37. I mean, when I look at the cast of 37, and if they reversed the season, it would have been much
so
better.
Much better. Then so Michaela would have won.
That would have been a much better season
than what we got.
Yeah, just in terms of boot order, it was like the worst possible boot order. Yeah, and a lot of that had to do in Survivor too. So like when you look at the good All-Star seasons versus the bad All-Star seasons. So like let's look at Survivor season 7, 8 All-Stars and Game Changers as bad ones versus Second Chances and Heroes versus Villains. Yeah. The big difference, and you can even throw in Winners at War to some degree. The biggest difference between the good ones and the bad ones is you have the casting is
a great
totally
cast.
unequal. So in the bad seasons, you have winners and really huge stars, and you have like complete nobodies who should have no business being there. And then it
Yes.
becomes this huge imbalance where all the good people go out first. In the same way that the challenge, the problem is when you have it to where only the insider people can have any amount of power.
Yeah.
When that is true, there's not going to be an interesting season.
Yeah, and even like we can't say that Heroes vs. Villains and Second Chances didn't have nobodies. There were like one or two, but then they became somebodies.
Yeah.
Like the amount of nobodies and Game Changers, not a lot of them became somebodies. Like the only ones I could say were maybe Michaela. It depends if you count her as a nobody or not.
Well,
Haley,
she was a pre-merger, so like she definitely did better than what she did.
yeah, and she was a decent pre-merger. Haley was a nobody, but I think her time on Game Changers, people like went rooting for her more. Like people loved her in Tribal.
Yeah.
Like the whole I didn't consent.
Haley was fine. I
Yeah.
She was not the strongest casting though. You don't
Not
put Haley on the same Haley Ford on the same season as Sandra Diaz-Swine and expect Sandra Diaz-Swine to go out to longer than Haley Ford.
And Haley lasted longer by 2 Tribals.
Yeah, because like
she never went to Tribal.
You had 3 winners on that season. The winners are never going to win.
And
like,
all of them went pre-merge.
Well, and that's because they were in a grouping where they were huge fish in a small pond.
Yeah, and
if you look at pond of people who had no threat level.
Yeah, and if you look at the people in HVV, 2 winners made it to the end.
Yeah, because they were in both tribes had multiple winners on them. And
only one winner.
And even the non-winners were huge players who all could have been considered threats in their own realm to some degree.
Yeah, like you had Amanda, who's never been voted off at that point before. You had
Sari.
You had Sari, one of the greatest players of all time.
You had Stephanie LaGrossa.
Yeah, survived on her own. You had
and made it to the finals of Guatemala. Like even though
you had Sugar, who never even gotten a vote.
Even for the entire winners, season. Everyone was at a different tier level compared.
I like how we only named heroes.
Well, same thing for villains. I mean, you have Sandra, you have Jerry, who made it.
Jerry, the original Black Widow.
Okay, well, I guess she's at least a big character.
Yeah, she's a big name. Like when
Boston
you think
Rob, Boston Rob,
huge.
Didn't win, but he's huge.
Could have easily have won, but had a better jury. You had Russell. Well, nobody knew Russell at the time, but we saw what Russell was.
You had Tyson,
Tyson was a big villain.
Yeah.
Coach was delusional. Courtney, who's loved by the
Daniel
world.
DeLenzo. I guess she was probably the lesser name, but
yeah, I think out of the Heroes vs. Villains cast, Danielle, Candace, and maybe not even Randy. Danielle and Candace were definitely the 2 that people were like, why them? Even though Danielle made final 2.
Yeah, so at least she had something.
Yeah, well, Candace, she was definitely a question.
Candace was the original mutiny person, but
she started it.
So the real question for Candace is which tribe she should have been on, not so much whether she should be cast.
I heard a rumor that Danielle and Candace were supposed to be on the opposite tribes, like Danielle's the hero and Candace is the villain, but the reason they were switched was because Candace looked better in blue and Danielle looked better in red.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I don't know.
I still don't know if that's true. I kind of hope it's true.
I think they were just trying to balance.
It's the real reason why Candace mutinied. She was like, I don't fit this red buff tribe. I want to go back to the blue tribe because that's more my color.
Maybe they didn't want Amanda and Danielle in the same tribe to get brunettes mixed up. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I never noticed. Yet they had Danielle and Parvati, who probably got mixed up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Parvati was on that season, and that's on that tribe. But you had Parvati, you had Sandra,
Jerry, Courtney.
It was big.
I still can't believe that Courtney is a runner-up sometimes. As much as I love her, I still remember her doing horrible in challenges.
I love
And the
it
fact that
so
she could
much.
have easily won the season if she just had a better final tribal council.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people were going to vote for her.
I don't think she was ever actually going to win that one. I think it was always going to be between Todd and Amanda.
And yet, she got more votes than Amanda.
Well, because Amanda's terrible at final tribals.
Very much so. Because I was always thinking when people are saying I wasn't originally going to vote for you, but now I am, Todd. I always thought, were they originally going to vote for Courtney?
No, they were going to vote for Amanda.
I still wonder why Courtney got 2 votes. Because she got Denise's and James. Like, James, the big hero, voted for Courtney to win.
Bitterness? I don't know.
If only 2 other people were bitter, Todd and Amanda, we could have had Courtney as a winner. Imagine her on Winners at War.
I would have been amazing, and I would have loved it.
Yeah. Courtney for Winners at War.
Courtney would have been an iconic winner, but that's okay.
Yeah.
She still lives in infamy. And then we wouldn't have gotten. Well, she probably would have. I don't know. Courtney played a very similar game to Sandra, so it easily could have worked out for her.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they were like a duo on HVV.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have been reunited on Winners at War.
Yeah.
Well, although, would they have been on the same tribe? Actually, probably, because Survivor's not good at even tribe swapping.
We have officially gone to other tangents on other shows, and this is about the challenge to some degree.
Yeah. If they were to do a challenge, heroes versus villains season,
it would be
who
great.
Would be on heroes? Who would be on villains?
That's tough. I feel like the challenge has not played villains and heroes in some time. Like I don't feel like they've been editing people like that for a long time.
Really? Because you can easily tell who comes off as a villain and who comes off as heroes.
I mean, I put Tori on the villains.
Obviously, she's horrible. I should not. Okay, she's not horrible. She's just
insufferable.
What? Yeah,
I would also bring back Jordan and put him on the villains.
I mean, yeah, to where Tori's just insufferable on the show, Jordan's just a horrible person, and I can say that with confidence.
Zach is a villain.
Zach's a dick, yes. Johnny, obviously a villain.
Johnny's a villain.
Ashley, a villain.
What's his name?
Leroy's a hero.
For sure.
Leroy a hero.
Devin's a villain. Wes is probably a villain.
Yeah. CT probably a hero.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There's not a lot of heroes.
Anissa?
I think Anissa would be into heroes because she constantly has an underdog story.
Yeah.
Cara Maria, a hero. Even though she loves to embrace the villains. It really depends on what side of Team Cara are you on. Because Cara has always been an underdog. She's always had that underdog story. So there's the hero part. One season of her, people kept calling her a villain. But if you call Cara a villain, that's kind of like calling Cam one as well, because she was also in the group.
I think Cara could be depicted as a villain, but she's like such a complex history. It's hard to put.
Yeah,
it's hard
I
to
mean,
put her
she
in a box
embraces
like that.
herself as a villain as well.
I don't think I would like a heroes versus villains challenge. I don't.
Because
I just
there's
don't think
heroes.
No, I mean, I think you could pigeonhole people. I just don't think we should be pigeonholing people like that necessarily. I don't think it's necessary. It fits as well as Survivor did at that point.
But did they ever do Big Brother heroes versus villains? Well, you can't really do that because Big Brother's not a team season.
I think Big Brother would work better to some degree, but I don't think the challenge works with it because the challenge is so much about how you do in challenges and not how you do the politicking as much.
Yeah, that's probably why it works better for Survivors, because that is more how you politic, while a challenge is more how many friends do you have.
Yeah, like you put Mel as a hero, but like he hasn't really done anything heroic. He's just been good at competitions and not had to screw people over in the same degree.
I mean, that's kind of why some certain Survivor people are in challenges. I mean, our heroes are like, they're good in challenges. And they bring nothing
they also like voice like tribe unit and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah, I don't care for it.
Yeah. I think we should probably wrap up this podcast before we go
Yeah.
on about
This
another
is
hour.
officially our longest one. Our longest
Yeah,
podcast.
almost 2 hours. So let's end it now. Thank you everyone for bearing through this. We'll be back
Next week is the
to
finale.
we have a finale next week. Who are you rooting for? Are you team Darrell and Janelle, team Nehemiah and Melinda, team Ayanna and Tech, or team John A and MJ?
I'm going for John A and MJ.
I'm just gonna say Nehemiah and Melinda since they're my draft picks.
You know, I drafted John A. I regretted not drafting. I almost
not
drafted
drafting MJ.
Almost.
But you picked you picked Aggro Brad instead.
I did. Yeah, I'd be happy with them winning. I think I'm a John A fan, and I would love to see her pull it out for her sake.
Yeah. So, but we'll find out next week. Thank you for joining us. If you want anything more live reality game shows, podcast related, join the Facebook group, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow all the socials. And Nate, have anything last to say?
No, it's 2 hours.
Yeah. See you next week, people. This has been going on for too long.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.